Hello, my name is Jasmine, and I am part of the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program in Dallas Mountain View College. And I will be discussing about a patient that has mild to moderate vertigo. This patient is a married woman, and she was in the military, and she had an accident in the military which caused her vertigo about 10-15 years ago. And she has had issues with performing ADLs and IDLs, such as washing dishes and bathing, dressing, and driving, because she's feeling dizzy and leaning side to side and not feeling comfortable with that. So we will be doing certain tests, 5 or 6 tests. We have the Romberg balance test, the sharpened Romberg balance test, the single Romberg balance test, the functional reach test, the multi-direction reach test, and then the Berg balance reach test. These 5 or 6 tests will describe what range is my patient in, and to see what actions or what interventions we can do throughout her treatment sessions that she has. Hello, my name is Jasmine from the Mountain View OTA program. I will be doing a balance test called the Romberg test. So I have my patient here. She is 56 years old and she has an impaired balance issue. So we'll be performing this test on her. So for this test, I have the patient stand in a shoulder width stance and have her arms crossed. And then I'll have them to stand in that position for 30 seconds to see if she will not sway. If she does sway, I will record that time to see when the swing happened. All right, ma'am. So may I have you stand in shoulder width like so, and have your arms crossed. And I want you to stay in that position for 30 seconds. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, and begin. Alrighty, perfect. So as you can see, the patient did not sway. You can relax. The patient did not sway. So I will record a time of her balance being normal. For this next video, the patient will be doing the sharpened Romberg balance test. So for this test, the patient will stand with one foot in front of the other with both feet, with the right foot in the front and then the left foot in front. And they will stay, if whatever they feel comfortable. They can have their arms crossed or their hands on their hips for balance. And I will record a time of 10-15 seconds if they can stand or balance. And if they can, we'll move on to the harder one with their eyes closed. So if they can do that, I'll record the time. If they start swaying, I'll record that as well. Alrighty, so may I have you have your right foot in front of the other? And if you want to, you can have your hands on your hips or your hands on you all right?
Yes.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna record the time. Just think about 10-15 seconds. Alrighty, now switch legs for me. Alrighty, you can relax and now close your eyes for me. Okay, now switch legs for me. Okay, you can relax. As you can see, the patient was swaying a little bit with her eyes closed with both of her right and left leg in front, so I will record that as well. This one we will be doing the single leg stand balance test. So I will have the patient stand on both legs with the leg that she is standing on that is a little bit bent, and we will see if the knee deviates inwards or outwards. And if it does, and we're gonna be standing for maybe like 10 seconds, and then if it deviates, I will record it to see if it will deviate in or out, and I will ask the patient if she wants to hold on to something while she does this test. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do next, we're gonna stand on one leg in balance. Would you want to have a table or a chair to lean on, or?
No, I should be okay.
Alright, perfect. So what I want you to do is just to stand on your left leg and try to bend your leg a little bit. You don't have to have it completely straight. So you can just lift your one leg up. Have that other knee bent just a tad bit. Alrighty, now you can switch. Alright, you can relax. Alright, as you can see, the patient knee did not deviate inward and outwards in both of her legs. We'll be doing another test called the functional reach test. So for this test, I will have the patient, excuse me for a second, come this way. So I have this blue tape on the wall, and I will have the patient line their shoulders up where the tape begins. And I will have the patient not touch the wall and have their arm out like so, or in a fist. So I will have them, I will measure this recording right here of how far they can reach, and then I'll have them to lean forward as far as they can without lifting their heels up off the ground, and then as far as they can. Whenever they finish, I will mark it with a pencil on the tape and then measure it afterwards. We will record this 3 times. Alright, so may I have you stand right here for me? Can you have your shoulder line up with the tape? Perfect. And can I have your arm out? And can you make it a fist for me, please? And I want you to lean. And I'm gonna measure you real quick. Alright, so now I want you to lean forward as far as you can without lifting your heels up. Is that far you can go?
Yes.
Alright, you can relax. Alright, this is how far you reached right here. And we will record this after we've done all 3 tests. So, can you do the same thing for me, please? We're gonna do it 2 more times. Have your arm out like so, make it in a fist, and lean as far as you can without lifting your heels up. Alrighty, you can relax. Okay, we'll do it 1 more time for me. Alrighty, perfect, you can relax. Alrighty, so for the first recording, I will measure it right now. So for her regular her reach without leaning forward is 23 inches. Her first recording for leaning is 35 inches, and the second one was 36, and the third one was 35 as well. So as you can see, the patient, when she was leaning forward, she kept going downwards instead of staying upright. But that is not into balance, more of a back issue. But like I said, she did complete the test and she has a normal recording. Next balance test, we'll be doing one called the multi-direction balance test. So we're going to be using the same tape like so. And then the patient will have their fingertips starting at the tape, and then they'll lean forward with the same one as the reaching test. And then I'll record that one for 1 time. And then we'll be at the end of the tape with their same thing with their fingertips or their fist. And then they'll be leaning backwards. I, of course, will be behind them just in case if they lose balance. And I'll record that, but I'll subtract it. And then for the next one, for lateral, I have the patient. Again, you can see me, but my fingertips are right here. And then we'll be leaning sideways, like so, with their left arm. And I'll record that. And then the same goes for the right arm on this side, like so. Alrighty. Alrighty, ma'am. So can I have you stand right here for me without touching the wall? And then can you have your hands up with a fist for me, please? And then I want you to lean all the way forward for me without having your heels up. Alright, is that as far as you can go?
Yes.
Alrighty, you can relax. Alright, so let's come down to this side. And I'm gonna have your fist right here at the end of the tape. Have both fists. And I want you to lean backwards for me. Is that as far as you can go?
Yes.
Okay, you can relax. Alrighty. So can I have you on the sides like so with your fist balled up right here? And I'm gonna have your back towards the wall. Perfect. And I want you to lean to the side without touching the wall. All right, is that as far as you can go?
Yes.
Alrighty, you can relax. And let's do the other side as this one as well. Alrighty, take your back towards the wall. Make a fist and then lean all the way to the side for me. Is that as far as you can go?
Yes.
Alright, you can relax. Alrighty, so I will measure these measurements. So for the second one going backwards, I was she had 3 inches, so I'll subtract that. And then for the one from in this angle, she had 4 inches. And then for lateral, she had 7 inches. And for her right arm lateral, she had 8 inches. And that is in between normal range. So for our last balance test, we have one called Berg balance test. This one contains 14 balance tests and the U scale from 0 to 4. The highest you can get 56 points, and then we'll be measuring all of them. I will explain them as we go. So for the first one, I will have the patient. Can you stand up for me without using arms? Perfect. Alrighty, so for the next one, can you stand just like that with your feet apart, a little bit shoulder width apart? And then we're gonna sit there for 2 minutes. And then I will record the patient standing there for 2 minutes to see if there's any swing or rocking. And if there is, I will record that time. And if not, we'll continue to the next one. For the third activity, can you close your eyes and while you're standing? And we're gonna hold that for 30 seconds. And when 36 gone by, we will go to the next one. If not, I will record the time that she is swaying. Okay, relax. The next one is have your feet together, and we're gonna have her stand to see if there's any swaying or not, all the way together. Okay, and if she wants to feel comfortable, she can have her hands on her hips or on crossed like so. We'll have that for 30 seconds as well. For the fifth activity, we have, I will ask the patient to look left or look right and then look left. Can you look right and left for me, please? All the way back, like you're trying to see what's behind you. You can relax your arms. You can open your leg. You can do your legs shoulder width apart and just look like you're trying to reach for something in the back seat of a car. Like reach all the way back. Like do this, like you're reaching for something. Okay, and you can do the other arm as well. Like actually look behind you. Okay, perfect. So the patient did not sway while doing that activity. And I will ask the patient, can you please turn in a 360 or all the way around in one circle? All right, perfect. And can you turn the other way as well? Perfect. Also, I will have the patient, we have a box where I have a step stool. I will place it right in front of the patient, and I will have her place one foot on top of the board or the box, and then switch and alternate, and we'll do that for 30 seconds. All right, can you please do the same thing that I was doing as well? Perfect. All right, you can relax. So we'll continue that for 30 seconds to a minute to see if there's any swing or any imbalance as well, or I will ask her as well if she needs to have something to hold on to, or she doesn't feel comfortable doing it. For the next activity, I will take this box away, and we will have the patient perform one foot in front of the other, and I will have them stay in this position for around 10 to 15 seconds to see if they can hold that same position. Alrighty, can you have your one foot in front of the other for me, please? Alrighty, and we're gonna hold that for 30 seconds as well and see if there's any swing. And I'll ask her to see if she can place her hand on her hips or on her, crossed on her chest to see if, make her feel more comfortable. And then can you switch for me, please? Perfect. And like I said, we're gonna do the same thing when it's switched. Alright, and perfect, and you can relax. Alrighty, and I will have the patient stand on one leg for me, please. Perfect, and I will have that patient stand on the leg for 10 to 15 seconds to see if there's any swing or if her knee is buckled or inverted inward or outward. And can you switch legs for me, please? And see if she had a little swing, so I will record that time, and that was about 10 seconds. Alright, perfect, you can relax. And she was perfectly fine with her right foot. Alright, so for the next one, I will have an object such as a slipper or a shoe, and I will ask the patient to pick this object up where I will place it right in front of her. And can you pick this object up for me, please? Perfect. Hand it back to me, please. All right. So as you can see, there was no swing while she was picking up the object, or she didn't need anything to lean on to pick the object up as well. Alrighty. And then for the next activity, I will have the patient come over here by the wall as well. I will have the patient do right around the same test with the reaching, and I will have the patient try to lean forward as well, and to see if she will not lift her heels up or lean forward and fall. Alrighty. Okay. Now, can you lean forward for me, please? Is that as far as you can go?
Yes.
Alrighty, perfect. You can relax. So with that, we will record that. We record that number and to see what her range is. Alrighty, and then I will have the patient ask the patient to please take a seat for me without using the bars. Perfect. And so she did not need to use the handlebars or the need assistance. So for the next activity, I will ask the patient to pivot to this chair. So can you pivot? Can you stand up and come to this chair without using the handles? Perfect. And can you go to this other chair as well? Can you switch right back? Perfect. As you can see, the patient did not need any assistance using the handles of the chair. And for the last activity, I will have the patient seated like so, and her feet planted on the floor, and I will have her sit up with no back support for a couple of minutes to see if she can stand or she can sit down and balance herself without swaying side to side or back and forth. And that concludes our bird balance test. And she has scored a 50 out of 56, which is a normal range. And that is it for the balance test. So we are finished with all the balance tests. So she is within limits, within range with the first 5, which is the Romberg, the sharpened Romberg, the single leg, the functional reach test, the multi-directional reach test. So she's within normal limits, but the one she wasn't within normal limits was the bird balance test. She had a 50 out of 50 out of 56. 54 is the normal range, but looking at her occupational profile, her background, her age, and then her condition, that could be within limits with all of those issues. And I would say she's not a fall risk, but I will educate her not to drive due to maybe falling swaying side to side and not concentrating, especially if it's raining or there's too much traffic. So I would educate her on that. Also, I will also educate her on some home modifications, such as maybe some handlebars, and also like some handlebars to when she gets up, she can stand there and lean on a certain object to make her not fall over. So I would educate her on about that. Some home modifications are very simple. You find it at simple stores, Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, Walmart. So that'll be also some good ideas. And some 2 interventions that I will educate her on is to, like I said, educate on sitting or not getting up until her dizziness goes away. So the best thing is for someone with vertigo, when they sit up from laying down sleeping, they will start feeling dizzy, and I would educate them on staying seated and waiting until the dizziness has gone away. And then the best way is to have the lights turned off and not too bright to make it worse. So I would tell them, whenever you feel dizzy, I would say sit down in the area or stop what you're doing and relax a little bit to make the dizziness not do too much to her. So that would be a good intervention for that. And also the next intervention is also educate her on her eating. So this patient does not have an eating issue or eating disability, but it will be best to avoid caffeine, tobacco, alcohol, salt. Those type of foods will, of course, caffeine will increase your energy and don't need to stimulate your mind. Tobacco, of course, and alcohol, of course, is bad for your mind and your body. So I'll tell them to avoid that. Salt holds a lot of water in, so releasing all that water would be best of using all that salt as well. So educating her on her food intake and also educating her on when she feels dizzy is to sit down instead of keep driving, or I would advise her not to drive until her vertigo has gone to mild to no vertigo at all. So those are my 2 interventions, and like I said, she is not a fall risk. Excuse me. And her home modifications is having a handlebars, or maybe having a little hook to hold on to while she's doing something, or even having a little seat belt around her to attach to certain areas, such as if she's washing dishes, she can attach herself, like wrap maybe a belt around and hook it to a certain device that she can buy from Walmart or Target to the cabinets below or on the sink, to if she starts to get dizzy and wants to lean back, she can lean back without actually sitting down and walking to a chair. So that'll be a good intervention as well, or a good home modification. So and those things will strengthen her to tell her, to indicate her to sit down instead of keep going. That will cause more accidents or injuries, and the safety precautions as well. So if for her first intervention, I will tell her, if you feel any type of dizziness, sit down immediately and stay there for about a good 5 minutes. Do something else to relax you, or even close your eyes to simulate darkness. And another safety precaution is for her to avoid certain food intake. So I will give her maybe a list of saying, hey, this was you should avoid. Try to not intake as much to avoid any increase of vertigo. So, and that will help with her occupations throughout her life, and hopefully increase her ADLs and IDLs instead of taking it away with her vertigo. I hope you enjoy.